3, 2. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to GW Bell & Sons virtual chat. I am Brittany with the Adopt a Cow program, and we are so excited to have you joining us today as we get to meet Farmer Marybeth and, of course, her adorable adopted calves, Lucy and Piper. Today's live chat wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the Dairy Alliance and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. So thank you so much to both of those organizations for making today possible. First, this live chat is part of the Adopt a Cow program. And for anyone that might be new to Discover Dairy or Adopt a Cow, it is a free online resource that covers Common Core standards in math, reading, and science, all while using dairy concepts to teach those lessons. If you're interested in those resources, you can go to discoverdairy.com. Next, we'd love for you to join the Adopt a Cow Fund next year. So if you're either interested in joining again or you're new to the program and just hopping on for the first time and you want to join the fund, registration will open on May 1st. I know, so it's only a few days away. You don't want to miss when registration opens. You can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt. And right now at that link, you will see a short little form you can fill out to receive a notification when registration opens up. But then once May 1st hits, that will open up to the actual registration form. So make sure to go ahead to discoverdairy.com/adopt to either sign up for those notification emails once registration opens up, or after May 1st, you can actually sign up at that link. And we'll go ahead and put that in the chat feature for you, so you've got that link ready for you. Next, as everyone continues to join us live, you'll see that that chat feature is enabled. We've seen a lot of really exciting comments coming through. Please feel free to keep using that. Use that chat feature to comment, ask questions all throughout the chat today. But please do keep in mind to keep all those questions and comments related to the chat and school appropriate. We are excited to hear from you and your students. And I know Marybeth is excited to answer those questions, but please, again, just keep everything school appropriate and related to the chat. Before we pass it over to Farmer Marybeth, I want to see who's joining us today and give a little shout out to some folks. So let's see. We have got, first was joined us today was Miss Jack's second grade class. So good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We've got some folks from Wilson, North Carolina, Miss Woodland's second grade class. Good morning. Miss Hopper's class in Raleigh. We've got Miss Smith's class, second grade class. Good morning. Hello. Let's see. We've got a kindergarten class in Biscoe, North Carolina. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Let's see. Mrs. LeBlanc's kindergarten class in Taylorsville, North Carolina. Hello. Good morning, everybody. And let's see, a couple more here because there's so many of you joining us. We're so excited. Mrs. B's first grade class, welcome. Good morning. And Mrs. Earnhardt's kindergarten class at Jackson Park Elementary. Good morning. Welcome all. And we've got one more, a homeschool class from Mint Hill, North Carolina. Good morning, everybody. I see lots more that have joined on. Thank you so much for letting us know and giving us all the love. We're excited to have you on board today. And with that, we are so excited to pass this over and introduce you to Farmer Marybeth from GW Bell & Sons. Hey, Farmer Marybeth, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Farmer Marybeth. We are so excited to talk with you and see you today. So I'll let you introduce yourself and then hopefully learn about our girls that are standing behind you.
Well, I am really excited to talk to everybody that's signed on. I am a fourth generation dairy farmer. We're located in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. And I am, I guess my title would be like general manager of the farm. Basically, I have to do whatever anybody needs me to do and handle everything. So I think that's a little bit about myself.
Yeah, wonderful.
And you want me to go ahead and start talking about the calves?
Sure. I know we've got a lot of love for Piper and for Lucy going on here today. So yeah, feel free to let us know, where are we at right now on the farm? What are they eating? All that kind of good stuff.
We're actually located right behind the barn where they grew up. So as soon as they were born, they were brought to the front of the barn, and then they've transitioned through different stages, and now they are out back in more of a pasture area. And they're right up here at our feed bunk getting their breakfast, mid-morning brunch, I guess you could call it. And I've got, let's see, this is Piper right here with the neat little mark on her face.
Yeah.
And Lucy she's down this way.
They're all curious on what's going on here.
Yeah. See if I'm standing right in front of her with the white down the middle of her nose and the eye patches.
There she is. Oh my goodness. They're really hanging out with their friends here. Do you find that they hang out with certain calves more than others at all?
Yeah, we have found that. I don't know if it just happens this way, but when we put them in groups of 4, they'll sort of stick with those 4 some out here in the pasture, and then they'll eventually get to where they hang out with all of them.
Oh my goodness.
But they kind of stick together as buddies.
Right.
There for the first little while.
They look so happy and content. So tell us a little bit about, what are they eating right now? Can we get a close-up look on that?
Let me get a little closer. We have, this is corn silage. It's on the ground, and then we put over top of it it's a grain mix. It's got cracked corn and some cottonseed hulls.
Oh, now why do they
meal for protein?
Why do they eat that and not I don't know, chicken salad or something? Why do we feed them grain? What's so good about it for them?
Well, it's really what the cow's rumen needs. It's their stomachs are not like human stomachs. A cow has 4 stomachs.
So they have 4 stomachs, and that's just because they're a ruminant animal, right?
Yes, yeah. That a lot of times you see cows out on grass. So that's what we try to their diet to be as close to what they need.
Right. So they need something very different than us, so that way they can develop those 4 stomachs or 4 compartments and actually be able to digest grasses and things that they need as they get older. And they look like they're definitely chowing down on their breakfast this morning. They're really enjoying it. It looks like Lucy might be hiding behind the post here on us. But so a little bit more about Lucy and Piper. Do you know anything about their personalities? Is one more shy or is one really energetic? About how big are they now?
Lucy's definitely probably the one that's a little more shy. I know Piper will let me pet her sometimes, but Lucy likes to run away. And I think they're roughly about the same size. Lucy's a little bit smaller.
Okay. How much do you think they weigh at this point?
They weigh about 450 pounds.
Wow.
Last time we weighed them.
Oh my goodness. 450
and we sort of go for, we want them to gain about 1.5 pounds a day.
Okay.
So
1.5 pounds a day. And how big will they be? What's kind of their end growth or their end goal when do you consider them full grown?
When they're full grown, they'll be about anywhere between 1,100 to like 1,300 pounds.
Oh my goodness. So they're going to get really big yet.
They get really big, really pretty quick, quicker than people grow.
Right.
Yeah, they'll be full grown at 2 years old.
2
at 24 months old.
Oh my goodness. They mature a lot faster than humans. Wow. They're getting so big. So Farmer Marybeth, we have so many people who are really excited, who are asking all kinds of questions here. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right into these questions. We've got plenty of time to get through a bunch of them. One of the first questions that we had gotten. So first of all, how many cows do you have? That was a good question to start off.
That's a great question to start off. We milk 300, and then we have roughly about 330 replacements. So on the farm right now, we have about 630 cows to look after.
Wow.
So that goes from the range of the babies, the newborn babies, to all the way up to the older milk cows. So 630.
Oh my gosh. Now we're seeing a pretty good shot of something here. Do you want to tell us what we're looking at right now?
They're at the water trough. They're where they get their water from.
So, and
And
they
it
have
is
access to that?
yes, they have access to that all the time. It's unlimited water for them.
Wow.
So anytime they're thirsty, they can come up and get water. Because cows will drink a lot of water.
Right. I think a grown cow can drink what, a
Yes.
bathtub full of water?
Yes, like a 55-gallon drum.
Right. A
Yeah.
day.
In a
That's a lot.
day. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of water.
Yeah, like a bathtub full. Yeah.
Oh my
So
goodness.
630 are going to be drinking a lot of water in a
Right.
day,
You
a
go through a
day's
lot of
time.
water at your farm.
We sure do.
Wow, but they got to stay hydrated. Very, very, very good. Oh my goodness. So a couple more good questions. They're wondering, do they sleep all together, or where do they go and sleep? Do you find that they kind of huddle in a pack, or they all have their own bed, or how do the sleeping arrangements work?
They do. They will sleep all together. They will pile up together. Right now, they just sleep out on the pasture in the grass, and they always tend to be together. If we find one by themselves, that's usually one that doesn't feel very well. So we always go check on
Hmm.
any. That goes for any size, baby calves all the way up to cows. If they're by themselves, we
Wow.
go see why they might be by themselves, because there's usually a reason.
That's cool. That's good to know. That's a good indicator of knowing if someone's not feeling well and go and
Yeah.
check them out. Very cool.
And the larger cows do have their own beds in our free stalls. They're all lined up so they can be side by side.
Very cool. We have a good question. So we've got a lot of questions coming in about the milking process in general. So just to
Okay.
try and help answer a bunch of these questions, do you want to just talk about, when do the cows get milked? For how long are they milked? What does it feel like for a cow? Just kind of talk about the milking process a little bit.
All right. We milk 2 times a day. Once that cow has reached 24 months of age and she's had a baby, they enter the milking herd, and then they will be milked 2 times a day. And that, when they come over, it takes about 7 to 10 minutes for that individual cow to be milked. So
Hmm.
she's going to come in and wait. She might be waiting 30 minutes, and then she goes in, she's milked 7, and then she goes back straight back to feed. So they really aren't working, but maybe I say less than 2 hours a day. They're actually
Right.
doing their jobs, but even then they're not being milked the full time. Like they're mostly in the process of waiting and then leaving and going back. So the actual hooking up the milker to her 7 to 10 minutes.
Wow. That's
And
super quick.
it feels very natural to them. It's as similar to a calf as we can be. And even like a baby calf would be kind of rough with their mom and punch at her a little bit and chase her around. And the milking machine is much more gentler than
Hmm.
actually, or gentle
Yeah.
than an actual calf. But it's very closely made to be as natural as like a calf would be.
Right. And milking is a very natural process, right? It's just
It
part of
is.
it's part of life. It's part of what the cows
It
know to
is.
do. And you as a dairy farmer do everything you can to keep it very clean, very sanitary, very calm, and then they get to be on
Yes,
pasture
we
for
do. Yes, we do. That our goal is to keep it as calm as possible.
awesome. Oh, I love that. Farmer Mary Beth, we had so we talked about how a cow at 2 years old is kind of where you consider them to be mature. Someone was asking how old do they have to be milked? So is that around the same time? When's the age that they join the milking herd?
It's around the same time. Our goal is 2 years old. They sometimes it takes a little longer. I mean, they're like any people, even that sometimes they develop a little slower, but definitely by like 2.5,
Mhm.
they're joining our milking herd.
Okay. And I know, anyone that might be listening, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, 2.5 years old, that seems so young. But remember, these cows, they're born walking, eyes open, and teeth already within the first hour of being alive, which is pretty impressive. So they moving on to 2.5, I've heard that every 2 years or every 1 year for a cow is about the same for as 10 years for a cow. So you're talking maybe that they're, 20,
Yes.
20 years old at that point. So they're plenty
Yeah,
old enough.
that's a
Yeah.
that's a good description. That's a good way to think about it. Every year's about 10 years for
Yeah.
a cow.
Awesome. Awesome. We can see a couple of things while we're looking at all these girls here, and a couple questions have been coming in about there's so many different colors. How many what's
Yes.
the reason for the different colors? How do are they different animals? Are they different breeds? Explain that a little bit.
The different colors are different breeds. We have you're seeing mostly black and white, and those are Holsteins, and they're the most popular dairy breed, but there are others. We've got a brown one that is more Jersey. I would say they're probably the second most popular dairy breed. They're a shorter stature. They're way more curious. They're funner when you put them in with the Holsteins. They're definitely a lot funner. A breed of dairy cattle, and then we have Swedish Red. I've got one I think that's
Oh yeah, she's
Swedish Red.
pretty.
That's like a solid red. Um, they're just another dairy breed.
Yeah. So it's very
There's a
similar
few.
to like dog breeds, right? Like they're all cows, just
Yes.
like dogs are all
Yes.
dogs. They're just different breeds, which is why they're different colors or different types of coats or things like that. Very cool. And now we
Yes.
also can see while we're looking at all of them, they all have these yellow tags in their ears. Do you want to talk about those tags and why you use tags?
Yes, we use the tags with 630 animals. It'd be really difficult for each of them to have their own individualized name. We'd probably run out of names pretty quick. So it's really easy to have a number that we use computer programs to track a lot of the things we do with the cattle. So they have a number and that gets put in the computer so we can keep track of anything that we do with them. I mean, uh, like if we have to vaccinate or treat one that's sick, or when they come in and have their calf, like anything that happens if they have the hoof trimmer comes and trims their hooves. It's like getting a little pedicure. We put all that into the computer with their number so we can look up the history of that animal and see anything that's happened.
Okay. Wow. So that tag really tells you a lot then. And it's very
Mm-hmm.
important to be able to keep track of all 600 and some animals because that's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah,
heard, I've heard that's pretty much just like an earring, right? It's a quick piercing and then they just
it
live with
is.
the tag their whole life.
It is. We do that within the first few days they're born, so it's like an earring, and they don't even really pay attention to it.
Hmm. Very cool. Yeah, they don't seem to be bothered by it at all. Awesome. We had a good question that this is from Miss Walton that she was asking, can cows be twins or have twins? And have you ever had twins on your farm or even triplets on your farm?
Yes, they can absolutely have twins. With cows, a lot of the times it's a male and female twin. I mean, I don't really know why that happens, but they are usually have a really big male and then a really small female. But we definitely have had a good bit of twins on our farm. Um, we have even had some triplets.
Wow.
We had one set of triplets.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like now are triplets common? It sounds like not if you said you've had one set of
No,
triplets.
no, triplets are pretty uncommon, and you really don't want the cow to have triplets. It's really difficult.
On everybody, I'm sure.
Yeah, on everybody. The cows, they do much better when they have one baby.
Right.
Twins is okay. Sometimes that's a little rough. We usually have to assist with those births. And then with the triplets, it was pretty. We were very concerned.
Yeah.
We were very concerned, but it
Yeah.
ended up okay. But it was
An adventure, I'm
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
it definitely was an adventure.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's pretty cool. So they could be twins. A lot of them are individuals, which is cool. And just to clarify, we've been talking about, when they're 2 years old, that's when they join the milking herd. They join the milking herd once they've had that calf. So these girls right here, some people are asking, are these dairy cows we're looking at right now? And they are, but they're not producing milk yet. They're still our teenagers, I would say at this point, and they're just living life and relaxing. It looks like we might be heading over to some littler ones, maybe? Is that where we're going?
Yes, yeah, to the smaller calves.
Oh, we get to get a sneak peek of some babies.
Yep.
Awesome. So
Yes, they're all considered dairy cows, but they are not in the producing herd. This is like the next generation. So we put a lot of time and effort into raising a good quality animal for when she does enter the herd.
Right. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, they look so calm and comfy and relaxed and living a good life there.
They do. They get a little spoiled. Sometimes I'm jealous.
Well, and if I know this correctly or not, you have to confirm, Farmer Mary Beth, but I believe they have a nutritionist that like figures out exactly what they need to eat and making sure they're eating the correct
Yes, we
amount of
do.
food. And yeah, they pretty much get to lay around and do nothing but be prima donnas and have pre-made food for them all the time, which sounds pretty
Yes,
exciting.
it is pretty good. Yes, we have a
Oop,
and does the work and feeds the cows.
okay.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, we just
And
lost you
then
for a split second, but you're back.
okay, and then we have somebody that sort of more specializes on in the heifers
Gotcha.
and the baby calves. So yeah, they have somebody that comes in once a month and makes sure we're mixing in the right things for their feed.
Uh, that's awesome. Oh, they look so cute and happy. We're seeing the really little ones right now. We had a couple questions asking, what's the general life expectancy of a cow, of a dairy cow, and what's the oldest cow you've had on your farm?
Well, the general life expectancy is probably on our farm. I'll speak to that. It's about 7 to 8 years old. We we really strive to take care of the animals and keep them as long as possible. And that's one thing that we try to do. And that's usually about 7 or 8 years old.
Wow.
And then our oldest cow, I'm thinking we have one that's 9.
Oh my goodness. That's pretty old though. If we're talking about, one cow year to 10 human years, that's like a
It
90
is,
year
it
old
is,
cow.
it is. And she will, like, she's already transitioned on. We're not going to breed her back
Hmm.
and have her come in for another lactation, because at that
Gotcha.
point, yeah, it's like a 90-year-old woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
She needs some special care.
Right. Absolutely.
So
And you
right
mentioned,
now, that's our oldest one.
right. That's awesome. And you just mentioned, breeding back and lactation, and those are definitely farmer terms. So I would
They
say what
are.
a lactation is how you talk about each term of a cow, right? So once they've had a
Yes.
lactation, they're kind of another year old, right? Is that
Yes, that's
relative?
exactly it. Once they have their first baby, we consider that their first lactation, and that usually is a year's time. And then when we breed them back, some point in that year, they end their lactation, which we say drying them off.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be dry cows, and then when they have their next calf, the second calf, then that becomes the second lactation,
Hmm.
and so on.
That makes sense. My goodness, you guys are all full of great questions. Thank you so much. I'm trying to get through as many as we can here. So I apologize,
Good.
Farmer Mary Beth, if I'm
Oh,
attacking you with questions. We've got a lot of good questions coming
that's
in.
good.
Yeah. A good question. Folks were asking, how do the cows stay cool in the summer and maybe warm in the winter? What are some things you do as a farmer to help keep them comfortable?
That is a really great question. We have some pretty large fans that we have put in any area basically that there are cows under roofs. We can't put fans really out in the open in the pasture, but they do have shade, so they can get under a nice shade tree if they're out. But if they're in a barn, we have big fans. And then the older cows, we actually have sprinklers. And it's just like what you think. Like when you go outside and play in a sprinkler in your yard, it's a big sprinkler. It's overhead, and it'll come on and sprinkle water on them for about a solid minute, and then it cuts off. So that way the fan blows over them, and it really cools them down.
Right. So
Uh,
that's kind of like taking a bath. Someone had asked about, do cows take baths? I guess they kind of get a bath with the sprinkler system, huh?
they do. They do. If there's anything on them, it usually washes them off in the summertime.
Right. Very
And
cool.
The winters here are not that cold. Like we have pretty mild winters, and cows like it cooler. The summers are usually more what we worry about. They get hot in the summer. They usually do not really worry about the cold in the wintertime. It'd have to be pretty cold. I know in the northern climates, they have to worry about keeping cows more warm, but our cows enjoy the temperatures in the
Right.
winter
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, I would say they're enjoying the warmth, and I think what the average or where their optimal temperature is probably like 50s, 60s, I think cows
Yes,
like, but
yeah, yes,
I'm sure you're standing underneath that barn right now and it probably feels pretty cool because the
yeah,
shade and the
yeah.
fans and everything else. So it's almost like your own air conditioning for the cows.
Yes, that's right. 50 to 60 degrees. That's why in the wintertime, that's usually what the winters here run during the day. That's our temperature during the day. So they really enjoy that time of the year.
Right. Oh, that sounds so relaxing to just, constantly be in the perfect temperature. Let's see. So I might have heard this in the background at one point. Someone was asking do you have any other animals on the farm? And I think I might have heard a donkey. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, we have. That's my next door neighbor. My cousin has a donkey. So yes, he has the donkey, and then we have lots of cats. Cats come around when you have milk, and at a farm in general. Cats love to get the mice.
Right.
And then I have some chickens. Not nowhere near as many chickens as we have cows.
Right.
It's a handful of chickens.
Just enough to have some eggs, huh?
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see. I'm going to try and answer like two more questions here, and then we're going to have to start wrapping it up. We had a good question that asked, you talked a little bit in the very beginning, if a cow's kind of off on their own, that might show that they're sick. What are some other ways you can tell that they might not be feeling well since they can't tell you they're not feeling well? And what are things you do to help them feel better?
That is a great question. So, one of the ways that you can tell a cow doesn't feel well, their ears can get sort of droopy. And if you look at a lot of cows, it becomes second nature. You can just look at them and their ears are a little droopy. You might notice some of them are like chewing. I don't know if these are any, but like a cow will be chewing her cud, and that they're just sitting there chewing. It looks like they're chewing gum. And yeah,
There we go. I think that
there's one
black
right
one's
there.
chewing
She's
her cud.
she's chewing. When they don't feel well, they aren't chewing their cud and off by themselves. So it's just one of those things. When you're around the cows a lot, you kind of know their little personality, and you know when they're just not quite feeling themselves that day.
Right.
And
Yeah.
at that time, we always will pull them out. Like if they're back here in this pasture, we'll pull that heifer back, put her separate, sort of quarantine her away from the other ones, keep her, in like a sick pen. And we have a vet that comes out once a week. If it's pretty bad, we'll have the vet come check her out. If we think it's just like a head cold, we'll sort of like their nose is running, we'll give them antibiotics. We'll call the vet and she'll have us give them antibiotics.
Right. Just like we would for humans, right? If we have a little cold or a
Exactly.
sniffle or
Yeah.
anything like that, we'll do what we need to do to keep them healthy. And then hopefully within a couple of days, they'll be feeling better and off they
Yeah.
go
I mean,
again. So,
it's a lot like how we do with people, because the
yeah.
vet does the same things a doctor would do with you. She'll check their lungs, check their heart with a stethoscope. She takes their temperature.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
That sounds like you're taking really good care of them. That's great. Let's see, well, I'll try to take another question here and then we're going to wrap it up. They were wondering, this one's pretty cool. Why, and you might have to just help clarify this one. So they were asking, why do boy cows have horns and girls don't? So maybe we want to clarify that a little bit, Farmer Mary Beth.
that's a really good question, because that's something that I hear a lot, and that's not true. All of our Holstein cattle and the Jersey cows actually all have horns, the boys and the girls.
Hmm.
Some different breeds may not have horns,
Right.
but all of our dairy cows do have horns. And what we do is when they're like 2 or 3 days old, we put this like gummy paste where their horn is supposed to grow,
Mhm.
and it'll actually stop it from growing.
Hmm.
And we found that that's the best way to do it, to make them not have horns.
Right. And now, why would it be important, Farmer Mary Beth, to not have horns? Because it sounds like I'm pretty sure there's a pretty important reason. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it, right?
Yes. One of the biggest reasons is they will fight each other and they can actually hurt themselves with the horns.
Right.
So I know sometimes it's a misconception that the farmer's worried about themselves, because they can. If they come at you and they're trying to run into you with a horn, it can be dangerous for the people as well.
Hmm.
But the biggest reason is because of what they can do to each other.
Sure. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, they're big animals. You can't train them to not fight with each other. I mean, they're gonna do what they want to do. So if
Yes, and
if
they
they,
they do. They do. They when you put a group of cows together, they're going to want to grow it, like have a they'll fight until they figure out who's the boss. So there's always
right.
a boss.
Right. Oh yeah. Boss cows for sure. And sometimes I feel like in
Yes,
a herd full of Holsteins, sometimes I think the Jersey ends up that little brown one
they
there might
do.
end up being a
They
boss.
do. Yeah, yes, she will. She will. So,
Oh my gosh. Oh, these girls have been so much fun to learn about. We had a couple other questions. I think that was just asking how much food do they eat a day? We talked about a little bit, but what was the amount of consumption that they might eat in one day at this age?
at this age, they're eating about 30 pounds.
30 pounds a day.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's included the silage that we have out and the
Hmm.
grain.
Okay.
Yeah, the grain's probably only about 5 pounds of the grain.
Right. Well, no wonder they're growing about a pound and a half a day. They're eating a lot of food.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Farmer Mary Beth, this has been so much fun. We've had so many great questions coming in. I'm sorry we didn't get to everybody's question, but I do, a couple folks had a very similar question to what I wanted to end with. So, some folks were asking, what's your favorite part of being a farmer? And I'd love to tie that in to my favorite question, which is, what is your why? Why have you chosen to be a farmer? And I'm sure that touches on what your favorite part is about being a farmer. Why have you chosen to dedicate your life to these cows and making sure they have a very healthy, comfortable life? What's your why, Farmer Mary Beth?
Well, I really enjoy just being a good steward of the land, and part of that is taking care of the cows. It just I really enjoy that part of it, and it's also like a generational thing. I mean, I'm a fourth generation farmer, and it's really fun to be able to go out and have my grandpa and my parents and my own kids, and we all of us are out trying to like accomplish a goal. So
Oh,
that's really the neatest part about it is, I can bring my own kids to work
right.
and they enjoy it.
Oh, that is awesome. Farmer Mary Beth, it's very evident. I mean, these girls are happy and content and calm and relaxed. And the younger calves you were showing us, they also were very calm and relaxed, which is really awesome. Just a lot of really great indicators that show you are an amazing dairy farmer. So thank you so much to you and your family for everything you do to provide a wholesome, healthy product, because all of your hard work means we get to enjoy the delicious products like cheese and ice cream and yogurt. And we know it's going to be safe and healthy for us to consume because of farmers like you. So thank you so much for everything you do. It's very clear you love what you do and are very good at it. Is there anything you'd like to say as we wrap up today's program?
Just thank you so much for this opportunity. I've really enjoyed being able to share being a dairy farmer in a positive way.
Mhm.
So it's been an amazing opportunity, and to have so many great questions and to have so many great responses.
Yeah.
I got a lot of letters and
Oh,
emails that I read and I didn't get to respond to. So I really appreciate all the cards and
yeah.
all the letters to the cows. I mean, it's really a heartwarming experience.
It is. It really is. Yeah. I'll say, you've got a lot of animals to take care of. So if Farmer Mary Beth didn't have a chance to respond to she is so thankful, and she's got a
I
lot of
am.
cows to take care of. So, but she appreciates your love, and I know we love, all of you in this program. We're so thankful you were able to join us this year. Thank you so much. Farmer Mary Beth, there's a lot of love coming in for you right now. It just says thank you from Mrs. Cox's second grade class. Thank you. We love Lucy from Miss Walton's first grade class. Thank you. Another class, Miss Pierce loved Piper. So just so much love coming in for you. You are an amazing farmer, a great steward of the land, and you are helping provide us with amazing dairy products for us to consume. So thank you so much for everything that you do. And to everybody else that joined, we had a blast with you this year. Please don't forget to sign up next year if you enjoyed this year. We've got some fun things in the works for next year. Registration opens May 1st, and we look forward to having you. So have a great Monday, everybody, and we hope to see you later. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.